Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something that's reshaping how enterprises operate: AI agents and multi-agent orchestration. If you've been paying attention to the AI landscape, you know that chatbots are yesterday's news. We're talking about autonomous systems that actually do work, not just answer questions. Sam, this feels like a pretty significant shift from what we've been discussing before.
Absolutely, Alex. And the data backs it up. Gartner's research shows that 73% of enterprise decision-makers plan to deploy AI agents for customer-facing operations in the next 18 months. That's up from just 31% in 2023. We're not talking about incremental improvements here. This is a fundamental reimagining of enterprise workflows. The question isn't whether organizations will adopt AI agents anymore. It's how they'll do it responsibly.
That's a great point about responsibility. We're specifically talking about European enterprises, and that means EU AI Act compliance is non-negotiable. Before we get into the technical weeds, can you give our listeners a really clear picture of what we mean by an AI agent versus, say, a traditional chatbot? Because I think a lot of people use those terms interchangeably.
Good catch. Here's the fundamental difference. A chatbot is reactive. It waits for you to ask it something, then it responds. An AI agent is proactive and autonomous. It doesn't just answer your question, it can access your CRM, check inventory, qualify leads, update records, and trigger workflows without you asking. A customer asks about their order status. The agent doesn't just tell them when it arrives. It detects there's a delay, contacts the supplier, adjusts the delivery estimate, and proactively offers compensation, all without human intervention.
That's wild. So we're talking about a system that actually solves problems rather than just reporting information back to humans. How much of a difference does this make in practice? Like, what are the tangible benefits enterprises are actually seeing?
Forrester found that enterprise AI agents deployed in 2025 achieved autonomous task completion rates of 67% on average, meaning 2/3 of interactions required zero human escalation. But here's what really matters. McKinsey Research shows organizations using multi-agent orchestration report a 40% reduction in process completion time and a 35% improvement in decision accuracy. That's not marginal. That's transformative economics for any enterprise managing high-volume customer interactions or complex B2B relationships.
A 40% reduction in process time is massive, but I imagine coordinating multiple agents across an enterprise isn't simple. You can't just turn loose a bunch of AI agents and hope they work together. How does that orchestration actually happen?
Exactly. This is where the agent control plane comes in. Think of it like air traffic control for AI. You have multiple specialized agents, each with a specific function. Maybe one handles lead qualification, another manages customer support, another processes orders. The control plane is the governance layer that coordinates them all. It manages their access to tools and data, ensures they're making decisions within defined guardrails, and maintains the audit trails you need for compliance. Without that central orchestration, you just have chaos.
That makes sense. Compliance is a huge piece of this, especially in Europe. Let's talk about EtherBot for a second. From what I'm reading, it's designed specifically for this multi-agent world. What makes it different from, say, a generic AI platform?
EtherBot is built from the ground up for enterprise orchestration and EU AI Act compliance. Generic platforms treat AI agents as an afterthought. They bolt on some autonomous features to an existing chatbot architecture. EtherBot is different. It's designed to execute multi-step workflows across disconnected systems, your CRM, ERP, marketing automation, analytics platforms. It makes autonomous decisions within defined guardrails, maintains comprehensive audit trails for regulatory compliance, and operates in multiple languages across European markets. It also integrates voice, text, and video seamlessly, which is increasingly important for modern customer interactions.
Voice is interesting. I feel like that's often overlooked in conversations about enterprise AI. Why is that becoming so critical right now?
Because voice is the most natural way humans interact. When you're dealing with complex workflows, say a sales agent qualifying a lead or a customer support agent troubleshooting an issue, voice allows for more nuanced conversation and faster interaction than typing. Plus, voice agents reduce friction in high-pressure situations. A B2B sales process is hard enough without forcing your prospect to type into a chat interface. The ability to have an intelligent voice conversation with an AI agent that can actually execute tasks changes the dynamic entirely.
That's a great insight. Let's talk about some real-world use cases. You mentioned sales automation, marketing automation, operations automation. Can you walk through a concrete example of how this plays out in an actual enterprise workflow?
Sure. Imagine a Eindhoven-based manufacturing company. A prospect calls in inquiring about product availability for a large order. The AI voice agent answers immediately. No wait time. It pulls up the prospect's history, checks current inventory and production schedules, runs pricing scenarios, and initiates the qualification process, all in real time. If the prospect is qualified, the agent triggers a CRM record, alerts the sales team, and schedules a follow-up with the appropriate account manager. None of that is manual. The entire workflow executes autonomously. Meanwhile, the system logs every interaction for compliance and training purposes.
That's a game changer for sales efficiency. But I want to zoom back out. We've been talking about this as a European trend specifically. Why is multi-agent orchestration particularly relevant for enterprises in Eindhoven and across Europe right now?
2 reasons. First, European enterprises face regulatory complexity that their counterparts in other regions don't. The EU AI Act isn't optional, it's law. Any AI system managing customer data or making autonomous decisions has to be compliant. That means transparent decision-making, audit trails, and human oversight protocols. Multi-agent orchestration with proper governance actually simplifies compliance because the control plane enforces those requirements across all agents.
That's a good point. Compliance as a feature, not a burden. And the second reason?
Second, European enterprises are often managing complex international operations. You've got manufacturing in one country, sales teams in 3 others, supply chain partners scattered across the continent. Multi-agent orchestration with multilingual capabilities and integrated workflows lets you scale operations across borders without fragmenting your systems. It's a technology that actually fits the reality of how European businesses operate.
That's a compelling business case. Let's talk about practical implementation. If an enterprise leader is listening to this and thinking, okay, we need to explore this, where do they start? What should the first steps look like?
3 things. First, audit your current workflows and identify the highest impact automation opportunities. Not every process benefits equally from AI agents. Focus on high-volume, repetitive workflows that create bottlenecks. Second, evaluate your data and system architecture. Can your agents access the data and tools they need? Is your CRM integrable? Are your legacy systems going to slow things down? Third, start with a pilot. Don't try to orchestrate 20 agents across your entire enterprise on day 1. Prove the model with 2 or 3 high-impact use cases, measure results, and scale from there.
That's smart. Controlled rollout rather than a big bang. And I imagine one of the big questions enterprises have is about job displacement. What's the honest conversation we should be having about AI agents and the workforce?
It's not about job displacement. It's about job transformation. The agents handle the high-volume routine work, qualifying leads, managing order statuses, routing support tickets. Your team gets freed up to handle complex negotiations, relationship building, and strategic work that requires judgment and creativity. A sales team isn't smaller. They're working on higher-value deals. A support team isn't gone. They're solving the tough problems that require human expertise. The math works out. Productivity goes up, employee satisfaction often improves, and you remain competitive.
That's an important reframe. It's about augmentation, not replacement. Sam, what's the biggest mistake you see enterprises make when they start exploring AI agents?
treating them as a technology problem instead of a business process problem. Enterprises buy the platform, spin up some agents, and then wonder why adoption is slow. The real work is redesigning workflows to actually take advantage of autonomous agents. You have to rethink how information flows, how decisions get made, where humans intervene. It's organizational change, not just tech implementation. If you skip that step, you're just adding complexity.
That's critical insight. As we wrap up, what's your prediction? Where do you think we're headed in 2026 with AI agents and enterprise workflows?
By 2026, multi-agent orchestration won't be the cutting edge. It'll be table stakes. Every enterprise of significant scale will have some form of it. The competition won't be about whether you use AI agents, it'll be about how well you orchestrate them. And compliance will be the differentiator. Organizations that figure out how to operate at scale while maintaining EU AI Act compliance will have a competitive advantage. That's where the real value accrues.
Fascinating stuff. Sam, thanks for breaking this down. For listeners who want to dig deeper into AI agents, orchestration architecture, and specific implementation strategies for European enterprises, head over to etherlink.ai and check out the full article. You'll find detailed frameworks, use cases specific to different industries, and technical deep dives on agent control planes. That's etherlink.ai. Thanks for listening to EtherLink AI Insights.
Thanks, Alex. And if you're exploring AI agents for your organization, feel free to reach out. We're here to help navigate the technical and organizational challenges. See you next time.